Hey, good afternoon, everybody. That is right. It is good afternoon. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell you, I either amuse amuse myself or sometimes I just don't do it. All right, so we're aiming over here to do this thing at 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, each and every day. 1 o'clock. That's lunch hour, folks. Lunch hour, something like that. Lunch hour, and and that'd be the effort over there. So some of that whole thing has to do with and I'll explain. I don't want to tell you off the top of my head, but what we're talking about here today is this whole concept of uh of year-end goals. All right, let's get serious. This is not a laughing matter. Year-end goals. Year-end goals are not a laughing matter. You know it really should be a laughing matter sometimes is those issues that we go through. This is where we all, this is where the rest of us need to laugh a little bit more, smile a little bit more, and do everything. So I'll tell you a secret. I just went for 10 minutes. Oh, don't worry. It's not that you weren't there, or it's not that it wasn't you. It was me. I forgot to hit the go live button. I'm so focused on trying to like work my way into StreamYard, and it's StreamYard. That's right. You can see the logo up on top over there. There it is. Logo StreamYard. And using all these features, get the banner going across. I can make my name small or big, and that kind of thing. And so that's kind of interesting. Just got to get used to hitting the right buttons on that. There it is. The brand classic. There we go. Big and bold. I don't know. Minimal. Ooh, little bubble. Blockchain. Yeah, blockchain. I like the minimal one. Make it work. Make it work that way. And then the banner across the bottom. So you could do that now. Can even change the color. How's that? How is that for exciting? That brand color? Let's see. What do you think? Whoop. And there was the whole thing. That's a little much. Maybe we should make it tomato red. Whoa, that's an orange. It's also not really. There you go. Tomato red. I don't know. Let's go down here. No. I'm not too sure about that one. Oh, what about the blue? Match the jacket. Something in there. I'm glad you're all tuning in for this. Sheer stupidity over here. But the reality is, it's closer, right? No, that's purple. Could do blue, highlight the jacket, or maybe red, highlight that book in the back. Right? I know, you really didn't come here to listen to this. But that's all right. Let's go with the blue. I like the blue. The blue works. Okay, so there we go. So let's go minimal. Oh, it changes color. All right, whatever. We'll do it. Oh, we got a little bit on the side there. So the whole idea here with today is the fact that it is the last day in November. Yeah, last day in November. We're in the beginning portion of the holiday season for so many of us. What does that mean? Well, it means that we're going to celebrate different things with family, with friends, maybe with some of our religious institutions that we attend. Maybe you're not religious. Maybe you just want to take that effort and maybe become a little bit more of the community. Community involvement. There's all kinds of different fundraisers going on. Today's Tuesday. It's Giving Tuesday. You can always give to somebody. I got a couple of charities in mind, that work on our side. Obviously, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. We'll put a little shout out for them on this one. But the whole concept there is the fact that we're getting together with so many people. You're going to get a question from many folks and saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Or "What's up?" Or "What's in plan for 2022? What's the next thing that you want to accomplish?" I actually had a give and take with somebody, or is that somebody that was, somebody just made a donation on my behalf to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. So thank you. Appreciate that. That's great. That really is great. So we were having a conversation, about that aspect of it, who we are today, where we want to be tomorrow. And his short answer of the whole thing is that we just constantly are evolving and moving, and it's not over until it's over, which means that we're always young enough to continue to change. Oh, absolutely. But this season, this period of December, January, it just seems like there's a lot more focus from the general population about this whole idea of New Year's resolutions, New Year's goals, things that we want to change, things that we want to accomplish. Now, if you're a business person, well, I think those business goals and those business plans should be looked at a lot more frequently, especially from what we've seen over the past 2 years. And who knows how quickly, slowly, or how things are going to evolve over the next year or 2 years as we continue to move forward with COVID. And I'm going to remain optimistic over there and tell you we're moving forward with COVID. But there's a lot of other things that we need to move forward with too. Politics, relations amongst the wide variety of groups, including politics. I just don't recall it ever being so divisive than where it's at right now. And I'm 60, so we go back a couple of decades on that one. I was a teenager in the 70s, so maybe not on that one. But even then, I don't know if that was more anti-Vietnam rather than anti-government and politics, the rest of that stuff. Maybe just anti-decision, depending upon which side you were on, with that one. So you have those things that are taking place. So there's a lot of changes happening. But the holiday season, the end of the year, the year-end goals, where do you start with that? Where do you begin with that whole thing? Yeah, we're going to make some comments that we meet people now, that some of the networking events are in person. Maybe we'll have a little bit more of a longer one-on-one conversation instead of a one-on-20 conversation that we do here when we're on Zoom or Teams or whatever other platform that you're using. And those platforms continue to increase. What does that tell you? I mean, it's a digital world is here to stay too. But you're going to have a lot more specific conversations, probably lengthier conversations with family and friends, those that we know, and those that we know from a family standpoint. Maybe some people we don't know that we're meeting out there. So where do you begin with that? Well, you really need to take a look, self included. I'm looking in the mirror on these things. Really need to take a look at what those things are that we are doing. The biggest thing that I'm sharing with you right now happens to be StreamYard. This whole idea of doing this podcast, we'll call it, through through Facebook. Man, I was just doing it through Facebook. So I started doing this whole thing. Thanks. My number. Well, hopefully she's my number one fan over there. We'll put this up. Good luck in the new time slot. See, I now know how to do that. There you go, Kat. You're it's the wife. You're now on air in the new time slot. And there we go. I get to take that away. Kind of cool. All right, good. So the idea that I had been doing, started this thing 2 years ago, was talking about COVID. All of a sudden, I had the extra time generated from home. And always comfortable doing these things. I was doing that 4 minutes at 4. But then I was just home much more frequently. Turn the computer on and go and do this. So that was 2020, March of 2020. Crazy stuff. I don't remember the exact date I got started with it. But anyway, doing that, and topic there had to do with COVID, what you needed to know. And I'm not the expert by any means, but there were so many meetings that were taking place online, digital meetings that were sponsored by a wide array of different groups that were there and designed in order to help out you, the business owner, and you, the consumer too, as to, what COVID was all about. And actually you as the teacher, parent with schools. So it wasn't a big focus on my side of things, but you know what? Everything impacts everybody. So that was the focus, the beginning side of it. Then we wound up having guests, which was great. That I really enjoyed. And then we started talking about the racetrack idea, the drag racing, which I really love that too. What I wanted to do is to continue to expand the reach of the whole thing. Doing it just as a Facebook Live was not really going to be the entire answer on that one. Got to be a little bit frustrating if I'm going to share that with you. And that was the idea of moving over into StreamYard. I was able to bring on guests, and I was able to bring on guests before too, but then to share it out on different platforms, make it look a little bit more professional looking. There's a learning curve that goes along with that. You got to do. But the reason why I share that with you when it comes to these year-end goals, or I should say 2022 goals, is that it does change. But what you do with it, how you approach it, whether you kind of laugh at some of the stupid things you do, like starting this thing and going on for 10 minutes without actually hitting that go live button, smart move. Well, what do you do with those things? Oh, I've gotten frustrated. Oh, you could ask my wife. I've gotten frustrated with different things. Like, oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, this looks bad. That looks bad. The rest of that stuff, trying to figure out what to do back here, with with this. And I'm still trying to get this a little bit better. That's why I think I just got to get a different camera and kind of focus in a little bit more, on things over there. Also make it look a little bit clearer. Maybe it's a few more lights. I don't know. Perhaps. And that next step up is going to be jumping over into a studio. That's Drake Media, Donna Drake and team over there. If we're going to continue to use the video aspect of it, which also becomes another thing too. Do we stay with the video side of it or go more podcast? So the point is there's a whole bunch of considerations to make over there. Is any one of these things I've made in the past a big mistake? Nah, definitely not a big mistake. Granted, some of it has been less than desirable outcomes. Others have been very, very enjoyable, gratifying, to go and do. But take a look back. And here's where the basis of these year-end goals come from, or the 2022 efforts are going to come from on your side of things. What did you do that worked? What did you do that did not work? That was just a complete, utter failure. Said, oh my gosh, I'll never do that again. Well, make a note of that. Don't do it again. Because if you do it again, then that's a waste of time. Making the mistake in the first place, not necessarily a waste of time. It was a mistake doing something totally different that you never ever thought you'd do, wanted to do, anything like that. Well, maybe that was just a flat out mistake. But if it's something that you needed to do, something that you wanted to try out for the first time, definitely not. Definitely not a mistake. Definitely not. So that's a learning moment over there. But I really think the key to success, and this is something I share at those career days also with the high school students. The really key to the whole thing is doing what it is that you really enjoy doing and you really gain something from it. That's where the success is going to come from. And it starts from within. And then people see your enthusiasm. People see that you're excited about doing it and they want to know why. Why? That word keeps coming back, doesn't it? They want to know why. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? I gravitate to a certain type of guest, and that I always have. I did Blog Talk Radio years and years ago, but I gravitated toward a certain guest on that one. Generally, more of the motivational speakers. Why? Well, it helps me move forward. Someone had mentioned too. Well, asked him. He's like, "Why are you a host? Why do you like doing interviews? And why do you interview?" I think he was interviewing therapists or something like that. He said, "It's free therapy." You had to laugh at that one. You had to laugh at that one. And then there was another guy, which is a really important one. And this is from the Toastmaster world. Darren LaCroix. Darren LaCroix was practicing to be in the speech contest, the international speech contest for Toastmasters. Wound up winning too. So while he was driving over to one of the comedy nights that he was doing, driving for 2 hours to do 5 minutes, 8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes on stage to get some stage time, which happens to be the name of his business, Stage Time. He heard in the car somebody in the car, not with somebody that was with him, but over the radio, And the question was, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Impactful question, isn't it? Not what would you do if you knew you were going to make a lot of money? Not what would you do if that was going to ensure safety? But what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? I'll throw in it's got to be meaningful to you too, right? I mean, I would actually love to go to Mars. I actually would find that to be very exciting. Do a few interviews on the way. But something that's really meaningful to you, what would you do? You know? Now, depending upon where you're at, what you're doing, and the rest of that stuff, it's again, look in the mirror on that one there too. As to what you're doing, as to what you expect from it. Maybe just something you just love to do. You're just naturally good at doing it. If you're naturally good at hitting a baseball, play baseball. Just play baseball. If you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, you're probably not going to become a Major League Baseball player. Heck, if you're thinking about this and you're in your 20s and you've never been there, you're probably never going to become a Major League Baseball player either. But who knows? Maybe the minor leagues, maybe the senior leagues, maybe there's something. You know what? That's fun. That's good. Put your expectations out of it. You get a chance to do something over the weekend, maybe at night, maybe during the day if you're retired. Who knows? Golf. Got to wonder why so many people like golf. Right? It seems like I don't play golf, so I don't know. But it seems like so many people get really frustrated from playing golf. I was like, where's the fun in that? Oh, I'm going to go out and play 18 holes with my friends and stuff like that. And come back. It's like, I can't believe I missed the shot or whatever the proper terminology would be for that one. Heck, I'm so bad at golf. Last time I went, I hit the club, iron, whatever it was, into the ground. I broke the head off. That's how far away I was from the ball. Another time, swung, hit the ball. That was good. It went forward, hit a tree, went backwards. Not good at all. Really not good at all. So if you want somebody to come with you to play golf, well, that actually knows how to play, not me. You need a little comedy relief? Hey, I might be your guy. What do I get out of it? I don't know. If the weather's good, I'm fine. It's something different. Meet some new people, that kind of thing. But it's to meet some new people. That's the part of my life that I truly enjoy. And that's why I really enjoy doing the interviews. I get a chance to meet new people all the time. And that is certainly something I'd like to get back to over here with this program and learning things as it goes along. So, my 2022 goals from an income standpoint versus from this standpoint, maybe two different things. Definitely going to be two different things. There, and that in and of itself, is fine. My long-term expectations, that might be a little bit different than my 2022 expectations and goals. Oh, I know what you're saying, right? Oh, yeah, you should shoot for the stars, and if you fall short of it, or shoot for the moon. If you fall short of it, you wind up in the stars, or something like that. Yeah, okay. Oh, well and good, but it's not it. It's not it because there's a certain amount of time, energy, and effort that gets put into this thing, also. And maybe that's become perfectly clear here too about the time, energy, and effort I put into preparing these things. This is off the cuff. I knew the topic. I knew the topic I wanted to discuss. How I was going to get there, don't know. Do I wander off a little bit every once in a while? Yeah, I certainly do. Why do I call this thing top of mind? Because, well, it allows me to do that. It definitely allows me to do that. The other side of it is that advancement through obstacles. Because I've taken a look back too at all these folks that I've interviewed, and every one of them has overcome some challenge someplace. Some of them minor, some of them big. Some of them have helped other people through a challenge. But to think that we don't have challenges in our lives, that's ridiculous. That is just utterly, totally ridiculous. We certainly do. Sometimes they come to us, other times we find the challenge that we have to deal with. But whatever it is, we're doing that. We're doing it. We find those challenges, we've overcome those obstacles. And for the many people that are still working through those obstacles, well, this is something I tell the support group I'm involved with the, that I tell the support group, and that a lot of people tell a lot of other business groups, and that we're not alone. We're definitely not alone. Oh, this society seems to be a bit fragmented. I'll give you that one. We certainly seem to have some incredibly divisive opinions on a wide variety of things, but those problems that we face, oh, there are other people that face them. There are other people that have faced them also, that have worked through those challenges and that have been able to achieve success in different levels, whether it be personal success, career success, lifestyle success. Also, I mean, how many people do you hear that have used to be addicted to drugs or alcohol, that are now out there and have moved forward, have found their own way of overcoming that obstacle, and have now gone on to do great things. Others have gone on to do good things, and others have gone on to do what's most important to them, and that is to recreate their own life, their own lifestyle in a much more positive manner. That's a challenge. I give them a whole lot of credit for doing that stuff. It's just, I mean, it's incredible the effort that gets placed into that. And there perhaps is the greatest lesson that we could all learn from folks like that, is that it is one day at a time. It is a very, very small step every once in a while. It's not how do I get through the year? How do I get through the month? How do I get through the week? How do I get through the day? Sometimes it's how do I get through the hour? How do I get through that next urge to say, you know what? I quit. I just can't do it anymore. Don't want to do it anymore. This is not fun. It's not rewarding. It's not anything. Geez, I've seen that with, I'll say less serious, but for some folks, losing weight is a very, very serious thing from a health standpoint, lifestyle standpoint, etc. Is the fact that opening that refrigerator door is a decision. Turning on your computer is a decision. Getting on the phone, cold calling is a decision. Yeah, you can still cold call. You got to be careful who you call, but you can still get on the phone and call people. And you don't even have to worry about where to find people. Let's go back to social media. Social media. You want to learn how to use social media, how to really become effective with your email campaigns and stuff like that? Why don't you join us Thursday morning? Join them Thursday morning at the Small Business Development Center. They have a presentation that's going to take place by Diverse Marketing on that, the email campaigns. And if your website does the talking for you, your social media does the talking for you, you send out proper, hey, I'd like to be your friend, that friend request, whether it be on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or whatever. Still haven't figured out some of the others, working through those things. But even like TikTok, it's, there's some real companies that are putting this stuff out on that one too. We've done I did a couple of small things with TikTok. Mostly it's been on fun on the nonprofit side of life. But all those people, how many friends do you have on Facebook? How many friends do you have on LinkedIn? Just let's use two. Let's use LinkedIn, since we're supposed to be using LinkedIn for business. How many LinkedIn connections do you have? 20? Well, if you have 20 LinkedIn connections, forget about picking up the phone and doing all the rest of that stuff. Think it's time you really take a look at your profile, take a look at your photo, take a look at all of that stuff, your about section, and make sure it's current. Make sure it matches what you got on Facebook. I assume you're using Facebook for business purposes as much as you possibly can. And they're dropping so much of this stuff in between that's not business related if you're focusing on business. When as you build that up, those, my friends, are the folks that you can reach out and call. I've got quite a few folks that on Facebook and LinkedIn and whatever that honestly, I don't know. I would like to reach out to them. The question is, how do I do that? I could do that by phone, or I could do that by StreamYard and get back to doing what it is that I love to do. And there is the tie in with the whole thing. And that's really the point I want to make, with you over here, is that we get ourselves moving in so many different directions. So many different directions. Is it worthwhile? Does it make sense from a time standpoint? Yeah, you can speak to your time management people. Let them break down where you spend your time, what you do, and all the rest of that stuff. I did. One word on that one. Ouch. And it's a Darren LaCroix word. I don't think he's copyrighted it, but it was part of his speech. Oh, it was part of his speech. He fell forward, hit the ground. Ouch! But you know what he did? He fell forward. He still made progress. Banged his knees on the floor, but he still made progress. And the secret is, after he practiced that speech many times on hard concrete floors, and he kept on smashing his knees into the ground, well, he advanced his uniform by overcoming that obstacle. He put on knee pads. It was a lot softer. So we learned from our mistakes. He learned from that mistake. And I'm sure his knees are a whole lot better off because of that whole thing. Those people that I want to reach out to, I'm going to do that in a way that makes sense to me. How are you going to reach out to people that you know? Maybe you really enjoy writing. Start a blog. Invite them to read your blog. And if they have interest, then they can contact you. You like picking up the phone? You like chatting with people? Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. And if you don't have a phone number in your Facebook profile, your LinkedIn profile, and many of you don't, you should. If you want somebody to reach out to you, you should. Well, you can always write them a little note. Hey, I've noticed you don't have a phone number there. If you'd like to speak, this is the things I'm interested in. Please feel free to give me a call. Now they are calling you. You are not calling them. Will you wind up with some phone calls that perhaps are just them soliciting you? Yeah. Will you wind up with some phone calls that are just like an absolute waste of time? Yeah. Will you wind up with some phone calls that are not? Oh, absolutely, you will. The clearer you are in that description of what it is that you're looking for, the better off you're going to be. So think about all of those things. Think about what you really had a good time doing this year, last year, years prior, what really brought you joy, and what really can help move you forward personally or professionally or from your lifestyle. What could really help you move forward in 2022. That's the thing to focus on. So for you, if you're interested in becoming a guest here with this program, we're doing it 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Why 1 o'clock? Because that means it's 10 o'clock out in the Pacific Coast. So it's late enough for them. And it's 7 o'clock or so. It's evening time for our friends over in Europe. So we'll be able to have them on. For our friends over in Australia, maybe we'll record something. We'll find a time that works out well for everybody. I know it gets to be a little crazy with some of those, but it definitely opens up more possibilities for me. So that's one of the reasons why I'm excited doing it. 1 o'clock, can do that half hour, no problem. Can arrange these things at some other time. This way, it's not interfering with the business day. Do that. Much rather do this for lunch rather than just eating for the sake of eating. I think there's a book out there that says "Never Eat Alone." Well, it never said you had to eat in a restaurant and not eat alone. You could chat like this and make it happen that way. So that's some of the reason for doing that. And who are the people that I would like to interview? Well, it's that ATO portion of the tomato talk, that have advanced themselves through the obstacles that they have faced or that their clients have faced, and that's how they have advanced. Yeah, you'll get a chance to talk about your company and tell everybody how great you are and do all the rest of that stuff, but I don't want to make this an infomercial. I'd like to make this a learning experience, for people. How did you advance your business or your clients? But I prefer your business. How did you advance yourself by overcoming some of the obstacles that are there? And they don't have to be massive obstacles. They could be just regular everyday obstacles because that's what we face. How do I use social media? How do I use StreamYard? How do I You answer that question and send me a message and make it work that way. All right. So that is it. So you can find me on my website, which everything's getting updated. So it's briansos.com, or you could search for it, Strategies of Success. Search for Strategies of Success, and you'll be able to find me in a number of different places. Use my middle initial because there's a lot of Brian Cohens out there. That was another little obstacle I had to face. It was Brian A. Cohen. And if that doesn't work, throw those other three initials on the end. DTM, Dog Tom Michael. It stands for Distinguished Toastmaster. Hey, it's Toastmasters. I'm a fan. And it took me 5 years to earn that thing. So I'm proud of that one. Be proud of what you do. Share the stuff that you really love to do. Where it'll take you, who knows? Maybe you will reach the stars if you continue on that path. Remember, speak well, speak often, live inspired.